A loud bang echoed through the house. Screaming. Scrambling. A crash as something, or someone, hit the floor. My heart pounded in my chest as I watched it all unfold through the hidden camera feed. The bed shook violently, the frame rattling against the wall. The bastard bolted upright, eyes wild with panic, but Jessica was still tangled in the sheets, her face frozen in pure terror. She knew. She knew exactly what had just happened. The little surprise I had left for them had just gone off. And now? Now, it was showtime. I shoved my phone into my pocket and stepped out of my car, the cold night air biting at my skin. The front door was unlocked, of course it was. They were too busy playing house to think about security. I pushed it open, the hinges groaning like they, too, were disgusted by what was happening inside. "Jessica," I called out, my voice eerily calm. "Did I interrupt something?" Silence. A thick, suffocating silence. Then, footsteps. Jessica appeared at the top of the stairs, wrapped in our bed sheet, eyes darting back and forth like a cornered animal. "Mark? What are you?" I took a slow step forward, savoring the way her breath hitched. "You think I didn't know?" I gestured toward the bedroom. "You think I didn't see?" Behind her, the guy, her little plaything, peeked around the corner, half-dressed, gripping his wrist like it was broken. Good. He should be in pain. He deserved worse. Jessica swallowed hard. It's not what it looks like." A cold laugh escaped my lips. It was exactly what it looked like. And the night was far from over. Jessica stood frozen at the top of the stairs, clutching the bedsheet around her like it could somehow shield her from the storm she knew was coming. Her eyes darted between me and the pathetic excuse of a man cowering behind her. The look on her face wasn't guilt. It wasn't remorse. No, what I saw was fear. Not fear of losing me. She made that choice the second she brought another man into our bed. She was afraid because she had no idea how much I already knew. I took another step forward, letting the door click shut behind me. The sound echoed through the house like a judge's gavel. "You're gonna tell me it's not what it looks like?" My voice was calm, too calm. That was always the first sign of an impending storm. Jessica tightened her grip on the sheet, glancing over her shoulder at her lover. He was still rubbing his wrist, jaw clenched, clearly in pain from what just happened upstairs. The little surprise I left for them. "What did you do?" Her voice cracked, eyes darting back to me. I smiled. "Oh, you mean the fun little addition to our bed frame? Just a harmless pressure-triggered shock pad. A little gift to make sure you both remember this night forever." The guy behind her stiffened. "Are you out of your ******ing mind?" Jessica shot him a look, then quickly turned back to me, her face twisting into something ugly. There it was. The real her. The part she tried to keep hidden behind fake smiles and sweet words. "You're insane," she spat. "You put something like that in our bed? You could have hurt me." I let out a dry chuckle. "Oh, now you're worried about the bed? Funny, I wasn't the one rolling around in it with someone else." She flinched, but quickly recovered, straightening her posture. This is all a misunderstanding." A misunderstanding? Was she really that desperate? I pulled out my phone, tapping the screen a few times before the live camera feed popped up. The very moment she had pressed her lips to his. The sound of her giggling, the way she whispered his name, Matt. I turned the volume up and let it play, watching as realization smacked her in the face. The blood drained from her cheeks. You put cameras in the house? You left me no choice." My voice was steady, but inside, the rage burned hotter than ever. "You think I didn't notice how you started staying out late? How your phone was always face down? How suddenly, I wasn't good enough for you. She swallowed hard, lips parting like she was about to spit out another lie. But she knew it wouldn't work this time. She was caught. Dead to rights. Matt, still standing behind her like a lost puppy, suddenly found his voice. Dude, this is between you and her. I didn't know she was married. Jessica whipped her head around. Matt. What? You didn't exactly tell me you had a husband, Jess, he snapped. I thought you were single. Oh, this just kept getting better. I crossed my arms, watching the cracks form in their little fairy tale. So, you weren't just cheating, you were lying to him too? Jessica shot me a glare, but the panic in her eyes was undeniable. She was losing control, and she knew it. She hated losing control. I took another step forward, my voice dropping lower. Tell me, Jess. Was it worth it? She hesitated. Just for a second. But it was enough. I nodded slowly. Yeah. That's what I thought. Matt had enough. He ran a hand through his hair, exhaling sharply. I'm out, man. I don't do married women. He turned to grab his shirt from the floor. You two work your ***T out. Jessica spun around, grabbing his arm. No, Matt, wait. But he shook her off, eyes filled with disgust. You're on your own. The moment the front door slammed shut behind him, I let out a slow breath. The anger was still there, still clawing at my chest, but now, all I felt was emptiness. Jessica turned back to me, her expression unreadable. So, what now? I stared at her for a long moment, then shook my head. Now, you pack your things. Her lips parted, but she didn't speak. Maybe for the first time in her life, she had nothing left to say. Jessica stood there, her grip on the sheet tightening like it was the only thing keeping her from collapsing. But I saw through it. The panic wasn't because she lost Matt, he was just another disposable thrill. The fear in her eyes came from losing control, from realizing she had finally run out of lies. She swallowed hard. Mark, listen. I held up a hand, cutting her off before she could spew another excuse. No. You listen. My voice was sharp, cold. I wasn't going to let her twist this around, not this time. She blinked, like she couldn't believe I wasn't giving her room to talk her way out of it. You're going to pack your ***T and get the hell out of my house. Tonight. Her lips parted, but she just stood there, stunned. For once, she wasn't in control of the conversation. I let the silence stretch between us, watching the gears turn in her head. She was calculating, always calculating. Trying to figure out her next move. Then, just like that, she switched tactics. She let out a shaky breath and dropped the sheet slightly, exposing her bare shoulder. Mark, come on, baby. We don't have to do this. Her voice softened, dripping with false sweetness. It was just a mistake. I was lonely. You've been so distant lately. I let out a humorless laugh. Of course. Of course, she was going to turn this into my fault. You were lonely? I repeated, shaking my head. That's your excuse? She stepped closer, her fingers reaching for my arm. I still love you, Mark. I jerked away from her touch, my stomach twisting in disgust. Love? I spat. You don't even know what that word means. Her eyes flickered with something, anger, frustration, before she quickly masked it. It didn't mean anything. He didn't mean anything. I gestured toward the bedroom. You sure put a lot of effort into nothing. The candles, the perfume, the ****ing lingerie. You never even did that for me. She bit her lip, like she knew she'd been caught again. But then she tried one last card, tears. Her eyes shimmered, her lower lip trembling. Please, Mark. Just give me a chance to fix this. I stared at her. Studied her. And for the first time, I saw her for exactly what she was. Not the woman I fell in love with. Not the person I thought I had built a life with. Just a manipulator. A liar. A woman who played games and only cared when she was about to lose. No, the word came out flat, final. She inhaled sharply, the fake tears vanishing in an instant. And just like that, the mask dropped. Her face twisted in rage. You're really gonna throw away everything over one mistake? One mistake? I let out a hollow laugh. Jessica, this wasn't a mistake. You planned this. You've probably been doing it for months. She didn't deny it. Instead, she crossed her arms, her lips curling into a sneer. You think you're so perfect? You think you're some saint? You were never around, always working late, treating me like a roommate instead of a wife. I took a slow breath, letting her words sink in. It was so predictable. Every cheater did the same thing, blame the other person, make excuses, try to justify their betrayal. But I wasn't buying it. I stepped forward, towering over her. You know what, Jessica? You had choices. You could have talked to me. You could have said you weren't happy. You could have left. My voice dropped lower. But instead, you chose to sneak around like a coward. She opened her mouth, then snapped it shut, realizing she had nothing left to throw at me. I pointed to the bedroom. Get your S***T, get out. For a moment, she didn't move. Then, slowly, she turned and stormed upstairs. I listened as drawers slammed, as hangers scraped across metal rods. She was angry, furious, but I didn't care. I walked over to the couch and sat down, rubbing my hands over my face. The weight of everything was finally settling in. The betrayal, the lies, the realization that the person I loved never actually existed. But the night wasn't over yet. Because Jessica? She wasn't going to leave quietly. Upstairs, the sound of drawers slamming and hangers scraping filled the house. Jessica was packing like a tornado, furious and reckless. I could hear her muttering under her breath, cursing me, cursing him, cursing the fact that she got caught. I sat on the couch, staring at the floor, my fingers tapping against my knee. This was it. The end. The woman I once thought I'd spend my life with was throwing her clothes into a suitcase like a spoiled child being forced to leave summer camp early. She wasn't sad. She wasn't heartbroken. She was just pissed that I took away her control. Then the footsteps started. Quick, angry, heading straight down the stairs. I didn't even look up as she stomped into the living room, dragging her overstuffed suitcase behind her. Jessica planted herself in front of me, her arms crossed, lips curled in a sneer. So that's it? You're just throwing me out like trash. I exhaled slowly. You threw us out first. She scoffed. God, you're so *****ing dramatic. She rolled her eyes, tilting her head. You really think you're some kind of victim, don't you? Maybe if you weren't so obsessed with your job, if you actually paid attention to me, I wouldn't have needed to. I stood up so fast she actually flinched. Her mouth snapped shut, eyes widening for a split second before she regained her composure. But I saw it. That tiny flicker of fear. I leaned in just enough so she could feel my presence towering over her. My voice dropped, calm and cold. Finish that sentence, Jessica. Say it. Say you needed to cheat. Say it was my fault. She swallowed hard, her throat bobbing. Silence. I nodded. That's what I thought. She let out a bitter laugh, shaking her head. You know what? F asterisk asterisk K this. I don't need this. You're just some boring, predictable guy who couldn't even keep his wife interested. You can stand here, playing the heartbroken husband, but deep down, you know I was too good for this life. For you. I smiled. She really thought she could hurt me with that? She had already destroyed everything. There was nothing left to break. I stepped aside and gestured toward the door. Then what are you waiting for? Go. Her eyes narrowed. She wanted me to fight for her. To beg, to scream, to show her that she still had control over me. But I didn't. And that? That pissed her off more than anything. She yanked her suitcase and stormed toward the door, throwing it open so hard it smacked against the wall. But just as she stepped outside, she hesitated. One hand gripped the doorframe, her body half turned. I hope you know, she said, her voice low, you'll never find anyone better than me. I chuckled, shaking my head. She actually believed that. No, Jessica. I met her eyes, my voice steady. You'll never find someone better than me. Her nostrils flared. She clenched her jaw, then turned and disappeared into the night. The door slammed shut. And just like that, she was gone. For a moment, I just stood there, staring at the door. Waiting. Like some part of me still expected her to burst back in, spewing more lies, trying one last trick to keep her claws in me. But there was nothing. Just silence. I let out a long breath and ran a hand through my hair. My chest was tight, my head pounding. This should have felt like a victory. I won. I exposed her, I confronted her, I got her out of my life. So why did it feel so damn empty? I turned, my eyes landing on the couch. The place where we used to sit together, laughing at bad movies, eating takeout, planning our future. A future that was never real. I dropped onto the cushions, resting my elbows on my knees. My hands clasped together as I stared at the floor. Everything was different now. And for the first time, I had no idea what came next. The silence in the house was deafening. Jessica was gone. The whirlwind of shouting, accusations, and slamming doors had faded into nothing. No more clicking of her heels on the hardwood floors, no more perfume lingering in the air, no more fake laughter filling up the empty spaces. Just silence. I sat on the couch, staring at the wall, the weight of everything settling in like a slow-moving wrecking ball. I should have felt relief. Hell, I should have been celebrating. I caught her. I exposed her. I kicked her out. But all I felt was empty. My eyes drifted to the bedroom door at the top of the stairs. Our bedroom. Or at least, that's what it used to be. Now? It felt like enemy territory. The crime scene of my marriage. The sheets were still in a tangled mess from when she and Matt scrambled off the bed. The candles she had lit for their little affair still flickered, the melted wax pooling onto the nightstand. And that goddamn bottle of my cologne, the one she sprayed to make it feel like I was there when she was screwing him. My stomach twisted. How long had she been doing this? I thought back, searching for the moments I missed, the red flags I ignored. The nights she came home late, claiming she was out with the girls. The sudden obsession with her phone, always keeping it face down, always texting someone when she thought I wasn't looking. The way she'd brush me off when I tried to touch her, her excuses piling up like a stack of unpaid bills. I had been a fool. I leaned forward, rubbing my hands over my face, trying to push back the burning rage creeping into my veins. She didn't just cheat. She lied. She planned. She enjoyed it. And now, she was out there, probably twisting the story to make herself the victim. A sharp knock at the door snapped me out of my thoughts. My muscles tensed. Did she come back? I pushed myself up and walked over, my fists clenching on instinct. But when I yanked open the door, it wasn't Jessica. It was Matt. His face was tight, his jaw bruised from where I imagined he hit the nightstand when my little shock pad went off. He stood there, hands stuffed in his jacket pockets, looking almost ashamed. I crossed my arms, blocking the doorway. "You've got 5 seconds to tell me why the F***K you're here before I throw you off my porch." Matt exhaled sharply, shifting his weight. "Look, man. I didn't know she was married." I scoffed. "Yeah, that makes it so much better." He shook his head. "I mean it. She told me she was single. That you were just some ex that wouldn't move out." A bitter laugh escaped my lips. "That lying **H***. Guess we both got played, huh?" Matt muttered. I studied him for a moment. He looked shaken, maybe not as much as me, but still rattled. "You still ****** her," I said bluntly. He nodded, lips pressing into a thin line. "Yeah. And if I'd known? I wouldn't have. I don't do that ***t, man. I don't mess with married women." I wanted to punch him. Every nerve in my body was telling me to break his face, to make him hurt the way I was hurting. But at the same time, he wasn't the one who made vows to me. Jessica did. Matt shifted again. "Look, I felt like I had to come here and say it. That I didn't know. And that I'm sorry." I stared at him. He actually meant it. Not that it changed anything. I shook my head, stepping back. "Whatever, man. She's your problem now." His brows furrowed. "What do you mean?" I smirked coldly. "You think you were the only one? That you were special? She lied to you the same way she lied to me. And when she gets bored, she'll move on to the next guy. Just like that." I snapped my fingers. His face paled, the weight of my words settling in. Maybe he thought he was different. Maybe he thought she actually cared. But he knew the truth now. Matt swallowed hard, nodding slowly. "Yeah. I guess you're right." He took a step back, shoving his hands deeper into his pockets. "Take care of yourself, man." I didn't respond. Just shut the door in his face. Leaning against it, I exhaled, my fists still clenched. This wasn't over. Jessica was gone. Matt was out of the picture. But I still had one last thing to do. And it was going to be the final nail in her coffin. The house was finally quiet. Too quiet. No shouting. No fake apologies. No Jessica slamming doors and spewing excuses. Just me, the ticking of the kitchen clock, and the faint hum of the refrigerator. But my mind? My mind was a goddamn war zone. I sat at the dining table, staring at my phone, my thumb hovering over the screen. The messages were still there, sitting in that secret folder she thought I'd never find. Dozens of them. Texts, photos, voice notes. Proof of her lies, of her sneaking around, of every twisted little game she played. She didn't just cheat on me, she made a joke out of me. I tapped a message from a few weeks ago. The one where she laughed about how stupid I was. How easy it was to lie to my face. He actually thinks I'm at yoga right now, face with tears of joy. Told him I was working late again. He just nodded like a good little husband. What a joke. I clenched my jaw so hard my teeth ached. I could have ignored it. Could have just moved on, let her disappear into whatever miserable life she was about to create for herself. But she didn't deserve a clean break. She deserved to burn. I opened my laptop and started typing. One email, one attachment. I kept it simple. No threats. No dramatics. Just cold, hard proof. To Jessica's boss. Subject, your employees conduct. Hello. I wanted to bring something to your attention regarding Jessica, last name. Attached, you'll find messages that detail her repeated dishonesty regarding her work hours, including her using company time and resources to facilitate an affair. Given the importance of integrity in your workplace, I thought you should be aware. Best. Mark, last name. I read it twice, my pulse steady. No rage. No begging for karma. Just the truth. And the truth? It was lethal. I attached the screenshots, hit send, and leaned back in my chair. Done. She had used me. Lied to me. Disrespected me in every possible way. And now? Now, she could watch everything crumble, just like I did. But I wasn't finished. Jessica wasn't just an employee. She was a social butterfly. She thrived on appearances, on making people think she was perfect. Friends, family, colleagues, they all bought into her little act. Time to peel back the mask. I opened a group chat. One that included her closest friends, some of whom I'd known for years. I pasted the same screenshots, added a short message. Thought you should all know the kind of person Jessica really is. I won't be responding, but now the truth is out there. Do whatever you want with it. And then? I left the chat. I shut my laptop, exhaling slowly. My hands weren't even shaking. It felt good. She spent months, maybe years, making me feel small. Making me feel like a fool. Not anymore. I stood up and walked to the fridge, grabbing a beer. Popped the cap, took a long sip. The bitterness settled on my tongue, grounding me. Then my phone buzzed. Jessica. I smirked. That was fast. I let it ring out. A few seconds later, a text came through. Then another. And another. The preview flashed on my screen, each message more frantic than the last. Mark, what the F** did you do? You're ruining my life. Answer me. I chuckled, shaking my head. Ruining her life? She did that all on her own. The calls kept coming. 5, 6, 7 times. Finally, I picked up, putting the phone on speaker and setting it on the counter. Silence. Heavy breathing. Then, pure rage. You piece of st, ***, she shrieked. What did you do to me? I took another sip of my beer, enjoying the meltdown on the other end of the line. I just told the truth, Jess. That's all. You got me fired, Mark. Do you understand that? Fired. I raised an eyebrow. Damn. That was fast. You think this is funny? She spat. You had to go and be a petty little b*** h because you couldn't handle a little mistake? That made me laugh. A real, deep laugh. A little mistake? Jess, you weren't just cheating. You were laughing about it. You were bragging. She was breathing hard now, probably pacing back and forth in whatever dump she was staying at. You think you're the good guy in this? Huh? You think people are gonna take your side? I shrugged, even though she couldn't see me. Doesn't matter, does it? Your boss did. Silence. Then, her voice dropped, low and venomous. I swear to God, Mark, I'll make you regret this. I smiled. There it was. The real her. No more fake tears, no more apologies. Just pure, unfiltered Jessica. Too late, I said calmly. I already regret ever meeting you. And then? I hung up. The second I hung up, the texts poured in. Jessica, Pick up the ****ing phone. Jessica, you think you're done? You're not done. Jessica, I swear, Mark, I will ruin you. I smirked, taking another sip of my beer. Oh, sweetheart, you already did. And now? It's your turn. I turned my phone on silent and leaned back against the counter, exhaling slowly. The rage was still there, simmering beneath my skin, but now? It wasn't controlling me. I had taken my shot. The damage was done. And she knew it. A few minutes passed. Then, a knock at the door. I didn't move. Another knock. Louder this time. Then, banging. Mark. Open the goddamn door. I sighed, pushing off the counter. Here we go. When I swung the door open, Jessica stood there, hair wild, face flushed with pure fury. She wasn't the carefully put-together woman she pretended to be. She looked unhinged. You think this is funny? She spat, shoving her phone in my face. The group chat was still open, flooded with messages from people who had finally seen through her bull's ***T. Wow, Jess. Really? I thought we were friends. I can't believe you did this to Mark. You lied to all of us. She was losing everything. I crossed my arms, unfazed. Didn't think I'd actually fight back, did you? Her nostrils flared. You had no right. I laughed. A deep, bitter laugh. No right? No right? Jess, you brought another man into our house. Our bed. You didn't just cheat, you mocked me. Lied to my face, made ********ing joke out of me. I took a step forward, lowering my voice. And you think you get to walk away clean? She swallowed hard, but the fire in her eyes didn't dim. You destroyed my life over one mistake. I shook my head. No, you destroyed your life. I just made sure everyone saw it. Her lip curled. You think you won? I exhaled through my nose, tilting my head. Did I lose? She didn't answer. Because she knew. For a moment, she just stood there, breathing hard, her hands clenched into fists. I could practically see the gears turning, trying to find one last way out. Then, her face shifted. Softened. Her eyes glistened, her lip trembled. Mark. I loved you. I stared at her. Really stared at her. And for the first time since this all started, I felt nothing. Not pain. Not anger. Not even satisfaction. Just nothing. You loved having control, I said. You loved knowing you could lie and get away with it. That's not love, Jess. That's just who you are. Tears finally spilled down her cheeks, but I wasn't buying it. She wasn't crying because she lost me. She was crying because she lost control. And now? She had nothing. I took a step back and nodded toward the driveway. We're done here. Her jaw clenched, but she knew she had no cards left to play. She turned, storming down the steps, heels clicking against the pavement. But before she reached her car, she hesitated. Then she spun around, eyes burning into mine. You're gonna die alone, Mark. I smirked. At least I'll die with my dignity. Her face twisted, but she didn't say another word. She just yanked open her car door, threw herself inside, and sped off into the night. The second she disappeared down the street, I let out a breath. My shoulders relaxed, my fists unclenched. It was over. I stepped back inside, locking the door behind me. For the first time in a long, long time, I finally felt free. The house felt different. Lighter. Like it had been suffocating under a thick, invisible fog that finally lifted the second Jessica's car disappeared down the street. I stood in the entryway for a moment, just listening. Silence. No more fake apologies. No more lies. No more Jessica. I let out a slow breath, rubbing a hand down my face. It was over. Really over. I walked back to the kitchen and grabbed my beer, but it had gone warm. Didn't matter. I took a sip anyway, leaning against the counter, letting the exhaustion finally settle into my bones. The past 24 hours had been a storm of chaos, but now? There was nothing left to fight. Nothing left to prove. And for the first time in a long time, I was in control. My phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen. More messages. Some from mutual friends, some from people who had heard the news and wanted to check in. A few from Jessica's so-called friends, mostly filled with shock and disappointment. But there was one message that caught my eye. "Mom, I heard what happened. You okay?" I stared at it for a second before sighing and typing back. "Me, yeah. I will be." Because it was the truth. I set my phone down and walked into the living room, letting my body sink into the couch. The same couch Jessica and I used to sit on, watching movies, pretending everything was fine. The memories were there. I could feel them lingering in the walls, in the furniture, in the air itself. But they didn't hurt anymore. Not in the way they did before. Because now? They weren't mine to carry. Jessica was gone. The lies, the betrayal, the weight of everything she had done, it wasn't mine anymore. And as I sat there, staring at the empty space where she used to be, I realized something. I wasn't broken. I wasn't some shattered man drowning in heartbreak. I was free. A small smile pulled at my lips as I leaned my head back against the couch, closing my eyes. Tomorrow? Tomorrow I'd start fresh. But tonight? Tonight, I'd sit here, drink my beer, and enjoy the beautiful, perfect silence.